I'm going to digress for a second. Do you know what a badkin is?
A what?
A badkin, Badkhn. The badkin was
I don't.
a badkin was the first Jewish comic. And back in starting in 1500s, 1600s, in the Jewish communities, in the shtetls and the ghettos in Eastern Europe and Russia,
Oh, my homeland.
you had different Jewish entertainers, and there'd be a juggler and there'd be mimes, and the badkin was the insult comic, and was nasty and mean, and was really the first comedian. Well, there was a horrible pogrom, and 100,000 Jews were wiped out by Cossacks. So the rabbis, in their infinite wisdom, decided, we're going to talk about this and try to understand why God punishes the Jewish people. And they decided that God was angry because the Jews were having too much fun and there was too much levity in the ghetto. So they decided to ban all levity. And one of the rabbis asked the chief rabbi, well, what are we going to do about the badkin, the comic? And the chief rabbi's answer was, he gets an exemption. He's not funny.
Oh, I'm sort of gonna. I'm. How do you spell it?
Badkhn.
Khn.
Yes. And I have an
All
article.
right. Sort of, I've added that to. That's going on my. That's sort of a wonderful. Oh, okay. Well, there's maybe a rewrite for series 2 there, the Badkin.
But to me, that's.
No, seriously. I mean, my family is. I'm Irish. My dad's Irish Catholic, and my mother is Eastern Europe. Well, Eastern European, fled during the war, sort of thing. And when they fled to where my mum's family fled, when they fled to England, they had two choices. They could come down to London, or they could go up north to Lancashire. The idiots chose to go to Lancashire. If I'd have been born in London, I could be rich by now. I don't know what it is, but sort of, no, they sort of, it was the Jewish settlers who sort of, went into the cotton mills in Lancashire. Idiots! I could have been rich. I could have been upper middle class, but no, they had to go to Lancashire.
Well, it's like Golda Meir said, the Jews wandered for 40 years in the desert, and God took them to the only place without oil.
Oy vey. But no, I mean, that's really great, because thank you for telling me that, because that's all Eastern Europe, and
I have a wonderful article that was written about the badkin and that joke. I'll send it to you.
Oh, please do.
That's like the first real joke. The comic gets an exemption because he's not funny. So, the new fronts in the that took place last month in New York, and a lot of the announcements with money coming into Amazon shows, Yahoo's getting involved, Hulu with more shows. How do you see that affecting you as an independent filmmaker, or does it affect you?
It's because we're not part of any sort of major YouTube network. It's always very difficult to find the show. So that's why I constantly go out there and try and have a Twitter presence, a Facebook presence, any sort of, this is something that has to be done when you're an independent. I welcome the fact that, the big boys are coming, but at the same time, I'm afraid that people like myself will be pushed aside. You will always, when the big studios sort of, they will steamroll through stuff. But at the same time, there will always be an audience for the independents out there.
We were talking about financing and money coming into this, and Kickstarters to some extent and both of those sites, Kickstarter and Indiegogo, are beginning to play important roles in financing.
Absolutely. We didn't use Kickstarter or Indiegogo for Series 1, but we did crowdfund it. Now, I didn't really know what crowdfunding was at the time. My version of crowdfunding was emailing everybody that I knew and just saying, look, can you give us 50 quid? And so that's how I raised the money. With Series 2, would I like to Indiegogo, Kickstarter it, probably. I'm going to try and raise the money other ways first. You know, because
raise it in what way? I'm sorry.
Well, I'm just other ways, sort of, you know, with sponsorship, branding. You know, these are sort of avenues that I'm going to explore first before I go the crowdfunding route, because crowdfunding is hard work. People are unrealistic about it, and you know, so many more fail than succeed, and it is because it is a full-time job, you know, and a lot of people do not realize this. So they'll have, like, you know, I want to raise $6 million, and they've raised you know, $4, not 4 million, and you know, they're like, why is this happening? And it's like, because you're not engaging people. You know, it is a massive full-time job, and if there is a sea of people out there asking for money, and it's like, what are you doing that's different? So
what do you like to watch?
What do I like to watch? You know what, give me a decent old horror, give me a zappy American comedy, give me something I haven't seen before, or give me something that I have seen before in a new way. You know what? I'm the only person in the world who has never sat through or read Game of Thrones. Sorry.
I haven't read it, but I did start to watch it, and I binged. I've caught up, and I really like the show.
Yeah, my dad is a massive fan, and you know, it was the Books of Fire and Ice. That's what they're originally based on, isn't it? Was that the name of them? But I remember having to go to Amazon and having so many problems with Amazon trying to order these books before the show came out, you know. And so yeah, my dad was a huge fan, so I bought it.
On the web?
I'm sorry?
Do you watch anything on the web? Any web shows or series?
Oh, yeah, I love starting a thing called Rain Dance, who is our sort of alternative Sundance festival.
That's a festival coming up in September.
Absolutely. Now they're looking at web series. Rain Dance have been really supportive, and I'm one of the judges.
Wonderful.
So I have to sort of sit through and watch everything that's submitted, which is great. But there are certain web series I love. Of course I love The Guild. You know, who doesn't love The Guild? And that and Fresh Hell were the two that inspired me. Brent Spiner's one. And what was
brought up Fresh Hell last week when we spoke with her also.
Fresh Hell, I love. I
have to watch it now.
It is so good. It is so good. Fresh. And I actually got completely out of the blue, apropos of nothing. I got an email from the director of Fresh Hell, saying who happens to be English, living in LA, and he said, sort of, you know, I stumbled upon your show and I really, really like it. And I was having a really bad day, and then I got this email, and it was like getting an email from God.
Sure.
It was like, you were the person. Wait a minute, I'm getting a thing from you, and you inspired me. You know, I was watching your show while I was writing series 1. While I was stuck in post-production, I was watching series 2, and you're actually complimenting me. What have I done? And so to get something like that, it was absolutely amazing, and really gave me the impetus to get my finger out of my arse to get on with post-production on series 1. And so that was wonderful. Husbands, I have fallen in love with. Only because I watched it because we were against each other in the Indie Soap Awards for Best Comedy, and we won. And it's like, we beat, and everyone was like, you beat Husbands? And I was like, yeah. And then I watched it and I was like, oh, fuck.
That's a really good show.
We beat that. Oh, God, which is why sort of, you know, I'm spending more time on series 2, because, you know, that's the level that I have to sort of compete with.
Well, was there anything in series 1 that you weren't happy with, or that you said that didn't work the way I had the original?
There was loads of it. You know what? You will never ever be able to get exactly what you want. The first the first episode, the first scene in series 1, with the 2 little girls summoning Bloody Mary.
Yes.
Now, originally we had a beautiful, massive bathroom about the size of this room to work in, so we could have, you know, we were going to make it completely sort of canted Dutch angles and proper horror. And the person whose bathroom it was going to be in kind of had a little bit of a breakdown, so we had to suddenly move. And that is actually the toilet that is used, is the bathroom that is used, is my office bathroom. In my 9-to-5 job. We came in at the weekend, and it's just it's essentially a long and thin corridor. So that's why the camera is always like sort of looking this way, because we can't get the cameraman behind the girl.
It's always coming from the angle.
That's why it's all at that angle, is because we just couldn't fit people in. So that was unusual, and there's a scene that actually, you know, because it was so compact, and it's actually made it through to you can see it in episode 1, in the sort of the medium long shots with the little girls in the mirror and Bloody Mary behind them. There's what looks like a toilet roll, just sort of, you know, down by Mary's leg. That's actually the cameraman's hand. Seriously, you go back and watch series.
Yeah, I have to go back and see that.
It's in a few shots, and it looks like a toilet roll, but it's actually a hand. It's the cameraman's hand.
We have to begin to wind up, because I know Kyle needs to move on, but I understand that you could not resist and wrote yourself into season 2.
Well, I haven't written myself into series 2 yet.
Okay.
There's possibilities.
I don't want to say what the character is, because I don't want to give anything up that you wouldn't want. But I had read about an evil kind of a creature that you might play.
Oh well, are we talking of Krampus?
Yes, we're talking of Krampus.
Oh well, Krampus. No, I would no. I would never play Krampus. If Krampus is going to be somebody's love interest for series 2, Krampus is a wonderful character. He's in Germany and places like that. You know, just cuddly old Germany. You couldn't sort of you had Santa, and then you had Santa's mate Krampus. Now Krampus, in America, you get a lump of coal. No, if you badly behaved in Europe, you get taken off and eaten by Krampus.
Yeah, well, Anthony Bourdain did a wonderful little animated video about Krampus.
I have been looking at that. Now, I've had sort of various ideas for how Krampus will look, and then I met a guy who is in a British web series called Gabriel Cushing, and it's Gabriel Cushing and the Zombie Vampires. And
Kyle's watched it.
Yeah, the guy who plays Gabriel is a guy called David, and I met him at Comic-Con, and I was like, you know what? He could be my Krampus. He would be, really good, because he's like quite berry and sort of. It's like, you know what? He may be good, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm in series 1. I am in there. I'm in episode 2 as the second sleep paralysis victim, who's on the tablets. I can't remember the Librium.
Okay.
That is actually me. And I remember being interviewed, and somebody said, does that not bring back painful memories of your sleep paralysis? I was like, are you joking? A camera was on me. I loved it.
Darren, this has been absolutely wonderful. You are awesome. And I know that's an overused word, but I am in awe, so it applies here. Where can people see the show?
People can see the show at, we're on Coldcast, Blip, YouTube, or you can watch us directly, www.bloodymaryshow.com.
Okay, and they can follow Bloody Mary Show at Bloody Mary Show on Twitter?
Yeah, we're at Twitter, we're on Facebook, it's at Bloody Mary Show, facebook.com/Bloody Mary Show. Anything that we can add Bloody Mary Show to, you'll probably be able to find us.
All right. Thank you so much.
You were so welcome. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, it's been all ours. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Be well.